In Hebrew, a construct phrase will be definite or indefinite as a whole. However, that definiteness, if marked, is only marked on the absolute noun. You will remember that a Hebrew noun can be considered definite, at least for a working definition, if it either 1, has the definite article attached, 2, is a proper noun, or 3, has a possessive pronoun attached, which is something we will cover in the next chapter. For examples, consider Genesis 1:6, Batok Hamayim, in the midst of the waters, or 2 Chronicles 26:6, Chomat Gat, the wall of Gath, or Genesis 21:21, Me'eretz Mitzrayim, from the land of Egypt. In each of these three cases, the absolute noun is definite. Hamayim has the definite article he. Gath is a proper name, as is Mitzrayim, Egypt. The whole phrase is considered definite, but the definiteness is only marked on the absolute noun, not the construct noun. You will also note that 2 of these 3 examples have a prefixed preposition, ba on batok, and me, which is min with the assimilation of noon, on me'eretz. These prefixed prepositions will not show the presence of a definite article in their vocalization. In other words, you will not see ba with, remember, the vowel indicating the definite article, because the definite article can only be attached to the absolute noun. This function of the language does create then the question, what if I wish to say a blank of proper noun? For instance, a book of James's. In this case, a construct phrase cannot be used because the definiteness of the absolute noun would cause the entire phrase to be definite. Instead, Hebrew will use the preposition lamed to mark such a construction. Both nouns will then be in the absolute form. For instance, 1 Samuel 16:18, Bain Lil-Yeshai. Absolute, Bain, a son, preposition lamed, and then the absolute Yeshai, the proper noun Jesse, a son of Jesse. This is not a construct phrase, but 2 absolute nouns with the lamed as the preposition marking the connection. Adjectives can modify any member of a genitive phrase. For instance, in English, we might say a green book of lies. In our English language, we put the adjective green before the noun book. In Hebrew, however, remember that attributive adjectives follow the noun which they modify. And in fact, when those nouns are placed in a construct phrase, the adjectives must all be placed after the absolute noun. A modifying adjective, even if it modifies the construct noun, cannot break the construct phrase. It is instead placed after the absolute noun. Because Hebrew adjectives will agree in gender and number with the noun they modify, one can usually determine which noun is modified for purposes of understanding and translation. If, however, the adjective agrees in gender and number with more than one noun in the construct phrase, you will need to use the context of the passage to identify which noun it modifies. Unlike the adjectives, however, the directional he can be present in the middle of a construct phrase. For instance, consider Genesis 29:1. Artsah b'nei Kedem. Artsah is an absolute noun, eretz, with the directional he attached. B'nei is the absolute noun in the masculine plural, sons of. And Kedem is east. In this case, east being a direction, so it can be considered definite. to the land of the people of the east. The to in our translation comes from the directional he.